is my partner in this whole adventure of Twiggs Co. And because you're following my Instagram, you had definitely signed up to follow me in the entrepreneurial journey. And so what we're doing is we're going over how we want to structure our organization to be funnels, and this is something that we are also going to work with other corporations on. But we're doing this thing of radical transparency with Twiggs Co. because the world's burning, 10-ish years. So you know what? If you can copy what we're doing and make it better, do it. If you can make it better, do it. Let us know so then we can be better, and we'll just like teamwork this and maybe survive as a species, kind of, sort of.
Got 10 years.
Still on the fence for that one.
We can do this. The Earth will survive. The Earth is just like, whoa, I have a virus. I'm going to heat myself up. Ooh, I have a fever.
That's a valid strategy. Anyway, okay, so business wise. Vicki and I were talking earlier about our kind of how we want to have our employee facing side of things. And I was going through this and she was like, oh, we should record this. And I was like, oh. That's why you're my business partner. You have ideas that are good.
I have all the ideas coming out of the elbow.
Right there. Okay, so just how we're going to have our organization set up and how I'm encouraging other organizations to set up as well, because plot twist, people are people and they will do better if you treat them as people. And then if they do better in their jobs as employees, that means your business purposes are getting fulfilled better and faster and more efficiently. That means you as a business are going to be able to operate faster, more efficiently, complete your mission more often. And that's the whole reason for you existing. And from that point, you are then making money as you are completing your mission. And if you're not set up, I've got people that you can talk to make money while you're completing your mission.
We know a team.
I know someone. So this is the funnels that I was thinking for our organization. You have those people, I'm just calling them lifers, so they want to find an organization to fall in love with, they want to get married to it, they want to stay there because they believe in it so much. So we have the option for those people who want to have 30, 45-year careers in place. So in that, you still need career advancement, development, just like you never stop pursuing a romantic partner, you never stop pursuing an employee. It's not just for the recruitment period. So really good organizations have career and development plans for all of their people. Now, plot twist, people aren't all the same. So you have some people that want to go into leadership and they enjoy management. They enjoy leading teams and getting things done. So you have a people leader and managerial track. And then you have those people who are like, God, I never want to talk to anybody ever again in my life. Cool. That's awesome. You're probably one of the best engineers in the world. Let's talk about a product expertise and contribution track.
Push up your dentures.
So this way, you can be a sole contributor and then still have that, hey, I'm getting promoted, hey, I'm getting raises, people are investing into me, and I don't have to then suddenly lead a team, because, I mean, those are all just different skill sets.
Do you think that you could utilize this same model for businesses?
Absolutely.
Like, not just internally, but for businesses?
This is one of those things that goes both ways. So with Twiggs Co., we have a lot of things that we are setting up because we believe that they are good business practices, and then we are also setting up in other organizations because they're good business practices.
Right. We're modeling the behavior.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do as we say, and as we do. And so I'm thinking, so all educational pieces, so I'm trying to think about, all right, how can I just get, like, the essence of the resume, I think, is a good idea. Just getting an idea of who a person is just at a quick glance. Like, what are your experiences? You know, like, where did you go to college? Because that's going to impact your view on things. So I went to a liberal arts college. That's different than going to a trade school kind of thing. It's just like a good idea of like, oh, great, there's a whole entire person in front of me. How do I figure out who they are and what they can do in the shortest time possible? So I'm thinking all of the educational pieces, you can have degree tracks, but much like putting together like a sculpture out of Legos. So each one of those Legos is an individual thing, but then it also provides structure to the entire thing. You're the one with the child, don't you? That's really funny. Anyways. So I'm thinking like,
I do appreciate the Lego thinking though. Like you can make amazing things.
oh my God, right? Smallest pride parade in the world for the 50th anniversary of Stonewall was made out of Legos.
Fun fact.
You're welcome. So I want to make it so that if somebody who is like on any of these tracks sees something that's kind of different or out there, not necessarily traditionally part of their track, I want them to be able to go reach out and grab it. And then, why pause? Technical difficulties.
It's okay. That's why we have 2 recording devices.
Right.
That's why we're looking 2 different directions. 2 different recording devices.
Gesturing vaguely in this job.
Just like a snake. Also, prepare for some weirdness. It's going to happen in this video.
My Instagram knows that.
My Facebook feed might not know that.
Let's try this again. I think my hand's really big right now. All right, back to life. Okay. So what I'm thinking is that all of the educational pieces, whether you are on the people leader, managerial, leadership development track, or whether you're on the product expertise track, you'll have little badges for each course that you complete. And then there are optional degree tracks. So if you want to become something like a general manager of what have you, then there are certain benchmarks that you need to be able to hit, certain educational pieces or certain competencies that you need to pass, and then you have promotion into that level.
Is that a set path? Like you know your path that if you complete this,
Mm-hmm.
you will get this path.
Absolutely.
As opposed to just being like, hey, maybe you should do this. I don't know where it's going to lead, but
hey, you're a really good bartender. Become a bar manager. Definitely the same skills.
right?
And then good bar managers turn into GMs because those are the same skills. Stupid. Anyway.
Not speaking from experience at all.
Not at all. So you have each position in an organization has certain tasks that have to be done in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And because there are certain measurable tasks and you can measure expertise and proficiency at each of those tasks, it just makes sense to complete that circle of thought. You can also train for those tasks specifically. And so it would be like, just as someone who is running an organization, it's an awful idea to have someone move up into a task that they're not prepared for. Both from, you are going to create resentment in that employee, you are going to create resentment for all of the people who that employee is trying to lead, and then your organization falls apart. And that's one of the things that high turnover is a symptom of, is having people in place who don't know how to do their jobs, or they're not competent at their jobs.
Or they're not supported by leadership.
Well, I mean, part of it is not, yeah, so like not being...
That piece is not being supported by leadership because they're not trained for the job.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And then leadership needs to know how to support other people, and like some people are really touchy and like hugs when you see them, and some people don't you get within 3 feet of them. And
Mm-hmm.
leaders need to be able, and managers need to be able to discern those differences. And that's one example, but there are millions of other examples like that.
Where in this model allows for risk, right? Like fail forward mentality. I'm going to try this and I'm going to put all my resources and I think it's going to work, and we will support you on that risk, because you can't innovate without being risky.
So you're not stuck. That the way that manifests in this model is by not being stuck. So say you want to be a people leader or manager track, you start going down you start completing that coursework, and then you're like, wow, I was wrong. This is actually awful. People suck. I never want to talk to someone else again. Then you can switch over onto the product expertise and contribution track. And the cool thing is, because it's blocked out in little Lego pieces, your resume, or you will still show that you have experience and education in that piece. So it's kind of like a little badge that just like follows you around if you want it.
Yeah.
So it was like, I tried this, I don't like it, here's my reasons for why. And then also, actually just on a personal development side of things, that helps you figure out where you kind of want to go. And then, of course, if you start out thinking you're a lifer, but then you grow and you change and things happen, you don't have to be a lifer. And you can actually go over to what I'm calling the funnel. Mm-hmm. Because I believe that organizations should develop and invest in people so that way they can grow and do and be people. And then the organization is set up to be able to, it's not a churn and burn, it's a grow. It's a collect and grow, or cultivate. Figure out terms for that later. Put a pin in that for marketing copy.
Stop. Collaborate.
So for the funnel idea, and this is where I think the majority of people I think are probably going to be, is you have career advancement and development that supports the people, leader, and manager track, the product expertise and contribution track, but then also the business owner launch pad. And so here you have built in, you have people that are, those like coworkers who are like, oh yeah, no, I'm just doing this, but I have my side hustle, or I'm just doing this until I hit X, Y, and Z benchmarks to then become a business owner.
Yeah.
Why not build that development track into an organization? And then you're also getting those people to start thinking like entrepreneurs within the organization, which is another way of saying you're getting that employee to be a leader in that position and to look for ways to improve and to add value and to really be engaged and build towards the mission of the business kind of thing. Just makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I think both of these also really promote a growth mindset as opposed to a fear base. Like we're gonna allow you to explore these interests, right? Like if you're like, I'm doing this thing, but I'm really interested in accounting, we're like, hey, let's meet our accountant, let's meet our marketing team. Like, how can you help them? How can you help us? How can we help you all grow as humans and a company?
Cross-pollinate your organization.
Yeah.
Going back to one of my original speaker topics.
I do appreciate Anna's choice of mug today.
Number one, mean uncle. Thank you. Co-starred as cohort number 7. They have different cohorts and they all have different names. Anyway. Coffee break. Back at it. Okay. So you still have the whole people, leader, manager track. You have the product expertise and contribution track. And so things like this, just the product expertise, that would be, making sure that as an organization, we are set up to send people to conferences that have to do with their subject matter expertise. They can go to classes, they get continuing education units. For bartenders, it would be like getting your Bar Smarts certification. It would be like going to Tales of the Cocktail. Most of my references are fairly alcohol-based. I apologize for that in advance. Actually, don't apologize for that. I got a lot of really good ideas out of that industry. Anyway, so making sure that the people who choose this track are then able to really stay on, maybe not necessarily the cutting edge, because that can be exhausting unless they want to be. People are people. We can work with you. That's the point. You have this conversation.
Yeah.
And then mentorship pairing, both within and outside of the organization. Again, this is a team effort. We are in the sustainability field. We are working to literally save our species through business, essentially. We're creating exponential impact generators. And so one of the ways that you do this is with strategic partnerships, with strategic relationships. And that should not, I believe that doesn't stop just with those business monetary exchange relationships. It's also mentorship. So if I can be, someone's mentee, super cool. And then if I can be someone's mentor, that's even cooler, because, leadership isn't just like a thing. It's like a thing. Reaching behind to pull up those.
Oh, yeah.
And then reaching up.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks for that explanation. Thought maybe you were inventing a dance move. It's a
you should see that dance move. It's pretty good. So here for the funnel, you have generally the same thing. Except you also have this business owner launchpad thing. So this focuses first on the development of the person as an owner first, and then we go with the idea development, and then we go with the business development, because organizations will absolutely mirror the people who run them. Actually, pro tip, if you do personality strengths and weaknesses assessment on an owner of an organization, many times that assessment will be mirrored in the strengths and weaknesses of the organization. Kind of thing, yeah. Unless you have someone who's really good at hiring for their weaknesses, but that not as common as I really would hope it would be. It's just so unfortunate. So with Business Owner Launchpad, you do things like, Colorado Lending Source does a program called Ice House, and it's more on the personal development side of things, because being a founder is hard. Being a business owner is hard.
Hashtag founder's life.
Hashtag founder's life. Also, this is how you sign language or hashtag.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right? Pretty sure. I don't know. Anyway.
Careful. Because the sign for pizza is not what you think. Just FYI, just like...
I'll dig into that later. Note in that.
Be careful of how you sign pizza, because it might not mean what you think it means.
So people who know that they want to be business owners, let's support them in that. Absolutely. And so personal development, idea development, how do I figure out if this is actually marketably viable? Just making sure that you have your I's dotted and your T's crossed, and then pop it into a business development kind of
So
space.
do you think that as part of being an exponential impact generator, that we are an incubator as well for businesses? They're going to come and do some work for us, and then they're like, hey, I want to be a business person. And then we then become a generator, an incubator, because we are a generator, right?
So that is built into the base model of Twiggs Co. and the base model of, it's built into the overall model that Twiggs Co. bounces into as well. So if you have the idea to business development phase of this thing, that is what that is. Mm. And so we as an organization are directly funneling into this, but instead of, it's kind of like this has a two-way funnel for us, because we as an organization are set up to take people who are currently in the employment, being employed and in that employee status. We have the opportunity to take them and then support them as they're taking their idea to an actual business and in that kind of development. So we are going to get business ideas through community engagement, because we're an established business, we have community engagement, business ideas are going to come out of here, and then they get dropped into a biz dev kind of incubator, accelerator kind of model. Built up to include development of the triple bottom line instead of just the single bottom line like most accelerators are currently built. Mm-hmm. And then we're also going to be able to pull from internally within the organization to then get businesses like that. And then you start getting this model replicating itself in other places. So it puts into a much larger cohesive system. That's the idea.
By the way, folks, this is amazing work. This is 60-something days in. I'm really proud of this team. Go team. That was hard.
Get excited. Don't high five Shane. It's not good. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Guys, it's a trap. Don't high five Shane. Okay. So yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. No, that's a phenomenal model. I think this was a lot of hard work that you put into this.
We're professional.
We have a blazer on.
Yeah, we do. What'd you call it? Carta blazer?
No, it was a jardigan. Yeah. New jardigan. It's a sweater. And a cardigan. I mean, it's a jacket and a cardigan. There we go.
Hey guys, welcome to our brainstorming events. Any questions?
No.
Anything that doesn't make sense?
No, I think it's good.
And I like this. I like this idea of you have degree tracks, which actually I've been reading some historical kind of stuff. And if you look into how businesses used to operate, so I need to know the history of, it's called dial-a-mattress. So you had people buying and selling mattresses over the phone. So you had people who needed mattresses calling salespeople who would then sell them mattresses, and then it would get shipped to them, sight unseen, stuff like that. They had a 6-week training program for their salespeople that covered emotionally, what are you going to go through? Professionally, like how you have to know your mattresses, you have to be able to sell us over the phone. What are your 6 weeks of training? And then they got put into a protected environment where they could then practice their calls. They were paired up with someone, and then they were let loose on the phones.
Oh,
We used
that's
to have
a great model.
As organizations, as just like a mode of operation, we used to have fantastic support in employee development. Like that was standard.
Wow.
And then
now it's like you're hired and go.
Right.
Please make us $1 million yesterday.
So I'm pulling together the pieces in the picture of like why it happened like that. I found a New York Times article from 1957 that was talking about the political influences behind how organizational development as it pertains to employee development.
Interesting.
Right? Thank you, New York Times, in the 50s. But there's a whole bunch of other things at play. However, there's so much value there. And then on top of that, not only did you have the 6-week training program, mind you, to sell mattresses over the phone, you also had like site visits. So they would take their salespeople and go to people who made mattresses and have them like tour their factories and tour their facilities. So they knew the story behind the story because stories sell.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And then something happened. All of my political leaning aside, something happened, and we've just totally lost that.
Yeah.
And we are seeing all of the consequences of that. So bringing a version of that back, but it has to, for it to work in today's world, it has to be agile, it has to be lean, and it has to like meet a couple of other metrics. And then it also has to meet the standards of a triple bottom line approach, at least a triple bottom line approach.
You know, I think that women are socialized from birth to take a triple bottom line approach.
I would agree with you, Vicki Davis.
Yeah. That might be a new blog post.
Blog post, podcast, and video. And talk. For all of the women groups.
It's true.
Everywhere. Anyway, signing off. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, guys.